I'm Jean Rowan. I'm an actress, model, and I've recently set up an online community for women going through hair loss called Her.ie. When I was growing up, all I wanted to do was to perform, so whatever that meant. So I started off in musical theatre and I absolutely adored that. And once I kind of got a taste for film and TV, I knew from the very beginning I wanted to be an actress or be on stage or just be entertaining people on some level. I got into acting because I was a gymnast and a film called The Reign of Fire was filming in Ireland. So me and a few other small children went along as being the stunt girls. And I arrived on set and I literally fell in love with the kind of make-believe that was The Reign of Fire. We had dragons, we had a fire, and I went home that day and I said, Mom, put me into drama school, this is all I want to do. So from that point, for the next 10 years, it was kind of doing amateur theatre, doing commercials, and kind of really just getting stuck into acting and really, really loving it. So at 15 then, modelling came knocking, which was a big surprise to me because at this point I'd lost nearly all my hair and I was wearing hair pieces, so I thought modelling and acting wasn't really going to be a career, it was just going to be more for fun. So that was fantastic. So I got to travel, I got to work internationally for a good 4 or 5 years. And then I went back to straight acting for a couple of years. I did some great TV shows, some great films. And it's only been the past year really that I kind of felt that I had all this information and all this kind of knowledge about hair loss and alopecia, and I had so many beautiful women coming to me asking me for advice, so I was like, why don't I create some kind of platform where I can share everything that I know? So that's where Her.ie was born from. So I was diagnosed with alopecia at 15. So as you can imagine, when you're 15, you have a lot of insecurities anyway, so this kind of added in the mix was quite challenging, shall we say. So it was kind of a slow burner. So my alopecia kind of started with a small patch at the back of my head, which my best friend Ali discovered. And then within the space of a year after getting a weave, my whole entire head of hair was completely gone. So it was kind of one of those things where I just did my famous thing of putting a barrier up and blocking everything away and not really dealing with my emotions. And it was, you know, really just a challenging, difficult time. And the main thing that helped was my family. They were wonderful and brilliant, and my friends, they were around me so much, supporting me. And acting and kind of going somewhere that I loved every single weekend to perform, or just to kind of go to fairy tale land for the weekend and not hang around my mates, because there my hair loss didn't matter. There I was Amber, who was good at acting, not Amber, the girl who's losing her hair or the girl who's going bald. So there was like my safe little haven. So I used to just run away there when it ever got tough. Since starting Her.ie, I've always been interested in hair, obviously, because I don't have any. So it's always been one of those things. I envy women with long, luscious hair, or I've always been interested in hair in itself. Through the past year, speaking to other women, obviously about their hair loss, about their alopecia, about trichomania, all various forms of hair conditions. But then I started talking to my best friend how she felt about her hair, and my boyfriend how he felt about his hair. And then literally every single person I meet now, I'm so fascinated with their connection to their hair. From when we're children, we're terrified of going to the hairdressers. You know why that is. Why is long, luscious hair the kind of pinnacle of beauty? And it's fascinating because it dates back to God knows what time, that the long, luscious hair is what beautiful means and what we all aspire to be, and kind of challenging that and questioning that and wondering why that is. It's been a fascinating journey trying to discover and trying to learn more about that. And in every sense, you have religion, for example. Women cover their hair because hair to everyone is this sacred thing that's only meant for the husband, and questioning that. So I've become a bit obsessed and a bit weird with asking everyone about their relationship and with their hair. And then you have hair on your entire body as well. Why do we want luscious long hair here, but then from like your eyelashes down to have nothing? So asking those questions as well. So it's been a really interesting year for sure. What's been so amazing since I've started Her.ie is the amount of people who have reached out to me. That being people who have alopecia as well, women who are going through chemotherapy, men who are going through chemotherapy, people losing their hair in any walk of life. And what's so amazing is, as much as I've become to somewhat acceptant of my hair loss, and I truly feel like I'm in a great place right now with my hair loss. I think it's a journey, but when you hear other people's stories, it reminds you of your 15-year-old self. So it's kind of, for me, it's like ripping off a Band-Aid again. And if I'm able to help these women in any way I can, because I can just relate to them, I think truly sharing these stories makes this alopecia or baldness not a taboo thing. And it's a normal thing, it's a fine thing. And if you're slightly different from the person next to you, it's not a massive deal, because what really matters is just inside. So it's been quite therapeutic, it's been quite scary, it's been exciting, but overall I've been filled with so much love and so much warmth throughout this experience. So I thank everyone for being so kind and reaching out to me and telling their stories, because that's extremely vulnerable and extremely intimate thing to do. So I feel very honoured to have people sharing their intimate stories with me. The modelling and acting industry is full of setbacks. You get 10 million no's before you get a yes, so that's something that you kind of know going into it. But I feel like having a strong group of people around you, supportive and loving people behind you, is just key, and people who, you know, will support you no matter what. And things that help my mental health, for example, yoga. I want to come home and kind of just reboot myself, doing a yoga class or a meditation, or calling my boyfriend and kind of spieling out what it is that was wrong at my day. Because, like I said previously, I have a really bad habit of pushing down emotions, and I think that's a really bad habit to get into. So, you know, if I want to cry now, I'll cry. If I want to laugh, I'll laugh. So it's kind of just being really open and honest with my emotions. I think that's really helpful when you have a real setback in work. It's kind of perseverance, know that's going to be okay, and having that core group of solid people around you has been a godsend to me, and I think that really helps. But like I said, if you have a passion and you believe it, nothing, genuinely, I feel like nothing will stop you, because it's all aligned up there for us anyway. So I think the careers that I've chosen, that being acting and modelling, for sure I remember when I was saying to my mum that I wanted to go down this path, I think she was definitely excited and very supportive, but there's also a bit of caution there, because as we know, the industry are, as much as they're wonderful and they could be very creative, they can be quite challenging and quite taxing, and you know, there's a lot of no's before you get a yes. And you know, some people, because you enter, especially the modelling industry, for example, you enter at such a young age and you're vulnerable, and you know, you don't know yourself as much as you think you know yourself at 15, you don't. So it's quite easily to be led down routes that you perhaps wouldn't be as great for you at that time. I stay motivated by kind of just really sticking to my gut feelings about something. If I feel like a project is good, or I feel like a shoot is good, or I feel a script is good, or it's working with good people, I really just try and really follow my gut, and having people I trust around me and I can bounce ideas off and ask their advice and ask their questions, that's been a massive help as well, for sure. So in terms of self-esteem and people who are having self-esteem issues, especially when they're growing up, I think the one thing to remember is we all have them. You know, every single woman, even the most beautiful woman you see walking down the street, the most beautiful man you see walking down the street, I promise you, and I know for a fact, that they have some kind of insecurity. And me, for example, you know, people might see me when I have my wig on and I have my eyelashes and my eyebrows on, and they have no idea. So each person you meet walking down the street, it's just really nice to be nice to them, because you no idea what's going on behind closed doors. So the advice I would give would be just truly take care of yourself, do things that you love, and try and be yourself, and try and really learn to love yourself. It's a journey, but we are all different, and I think that difference truly does make us beautiful. And I know it's hard to see that. I didn't see that at 15, but now at 26, I genuinely feel like I've gotten to a place where I am happy and comfortable in my own skin, and I genuinely do love me just for me. So in terms of career, of course I have aspirations, but I think the main thing that I strive for, and the main thing that I kind of focus my day-to-day life on, is kind of striving for purpose. So as much as my career, you know, being a successful actress, working a lot, or doing a great campaign shoot, those things would make me happy and they fill me with joy on that day or that month or that year. But I genuinely feel for life, it's more about, you know, your purpose, what kind of gets you up in the morning, and whatever that might be, career, family, friends, loved one, boyfriend, or, you know, just life in itself, kind of making a difference and kind of really really think about what gives your life purpose, and I think career is an element of that, but it's not the be-all and end-all. And I think when I was younger as well, I would have equated happiness to my career, and I now know that that's not something that works for me. And I feel like as a big pie, career is just a little chunk of that pie, so I'm trying to build the pie as big as I can, if you know what I mean. So I think what drives me is, currently what's driving me is just what feels right, what feels good, and especially with Her.ie, it's in my control, and I'm the person to push out the content, I'm the person to tell my story, I'm the person gathering other people's stories, and that's a really nice feeling of that kind of independent and having control over my own career. It's been really nice, because for a good 10 years I didn't really have full control over my career to a certain extent. Obviously I could pick and choose what I would work on, but it wasn't really my choice. I couldn't give myself all the roles even though I would want to. So I just strive for purpose and truly just live a happy life, and again be surrounded by all my loved ones. I think that's the most important thing in life, really.